So I was lucky enough to have spent 2 wonderful days over the past week with lots of other booktubers book shopping, and naturally that has resulted in a small pile of books which I have to show you. So I thought, hey, let's do a book haul, which is the fault of booktubers. But between the 2 days I got to hang out with Brittany from Under the Radar Books, Lauren from Lauren and the Books, Nicola from Robotnik, Leanne from Literary Diversions, Elena from Elena Reads Books, and Claire from the Book Fox. If you're not subscribed to any of the people I have mentioned there, then you should check them all out. They'll all be linked down in the description box. They're all fabulous booktubers and I love them to pieces, and I had such a nice time hanging out with them. But without further ado, let's get into the books. I'll go through them in the order I bought them. In fact, the first book I bought was with Lauren and Brittany on the first day, and that is The Lie Tree by Frances Hardinge. You've probably seen this one making its rounds a bit recently. It won the Costa Book of the Year award last year, and it got this lovely new recover design, I think, because of that, which is lovely because I'm not super keen on the other cover. But this is actually, I believe, a children's book, although it's one of those children's books that seem to get put in all the different sections of the bookshop. It was like in the adult section, it was in the young adult section, the children's section, what the displays, whatever. It's everywhere, but it sounds amazing. I've heard so many wonderful things about it. I believe it's about a young girl called Faith whose father is or was a scientist, and this sort of magical tree which, if you tell it a lie, it tells you a truth, and the size of that truth depends on how big a lie you tell it. So I think our main protagonist uses this tree to discover some things about her father. We will see if that's right. I'm really excited for it though. It has amazing reviews and this is such a beautiful copy. The next book I actually picked up for £2 in a charity shop on the recommendation of Brittany because she had already read it. I had never heard of it, but it does sound fascinating, and it is The Shining Girls by Lauren Bewkes, and this is apparently about a time-travelling serial killer. And I just feel like I don't really need to say anything other than that. Like, that either hooks you or it doesn't. But if Brittany says it's good, then I definitely trust her. So I'm really looking forward to giving this one a shot. And then the last two I picked up that day, I bought in Armchair Books, which is a second-hand bookshop in Edinburgh. I'll link their website down below there. An absolutely lovely, lovely place to visit if you like book shopping. And I picked up these two. The first one is Perfect Days, a novel by Rafael Montes. This is in fantastic condition, lovely hardback. This is another one that I'd seen on Brittany's channel, although she hasn't read it yet, and it piqued my interest, and there was 2 copies, so Lauren and I both picked one up. And it's another thriller type book. It's about a man who becomes obsessed with a young woman, convinced he can make this young woman fall in love with him, but things gradually spiral, so hopefully a real page turner. And lastly, for a little bit of a more old-fashioned murder mystery, I have a Poirot novel, and this is Death in the Clouds by Agatha Christie. I absolutely adore Agatha Christie's Poirot. He's one of my favourite fictional detectives. I haven't read this one, and this is such a beautiful little edition of it, and it says on the front, greatest Poirot story. So hopefully this one will really blow my socks off. And I believe this one is about a murder that takes place on an aeroplane. I then met up again with Brittany a couple of days later, along with Nicola, Claire and Leanne and Elena, and I have another 5 books here to show you. The first 2, however, were given to me by 2 booktubers who were having clear-outs though, so I don't feel too guilty. And the first one was from Nicola, and that is Why I Write by George Orwell. This is part of the Penguin Great Ideas series, and I feel like I am the only person in the world who hasn't read this essay. I see people talk about it on BookTube all the time since I started, and I just thought, hey, perhaps my time has come. And then from Leanne, I was super excited because I've been wanting this book for ages, so when she said she was getting rid of it, I was like, me. And that is The Golem and the Genie by Helen Ome, and this is a fantasy book, if you can't tell. And this is set in New York in 1899, and it's about a golem who's been brought to life by magic and a genie who's been set free, who come together to have an adventure, one would assume. So sounds pretty darn exciting if you ask me, and I can't wait to get to it. But next, the 3 books I picked up myself. The first one you probably won't be surprised to see, and that is Don't Mention the Children by Michael Rosen. I recently read another of Michael Rosen's adult poetry collections and talked about it in my reading wrap up, as well as another video. I absolutely adored it. Michael Rosen's one of my favourite human beings, and when I saw this collection of his poetry in Word Power Books, which is another independent bookshop in Edinburgh, I had to pick it up, and I'm sure this collection will be incredibly emotionally stirring, so I'm very much looking forward to getting to it. I then picked up Mr. Fox by Helen Ome in FOP because it was only £3, and although I do have Boy Snowbird and still haven't read it, I just generally hear amazing things about Helen Ome, and I was like, £3, I must take it now. So this one is about a man whose fictional character that he's been writing about comes to life. And that's all I really know about it, but I'm intrigued and I do need to get around to finally reading some Helen Ome in the near future. And lastly, to return to the children's books, I have The Girl of Ink and Stars by Kieran Millwood Hargrave, and like I said, this is another children's book. This one's gotten amazing reviews as well. I think it's a slightly younger audience than The Lie Tree, and it's just so beautiful inside, if you can see that. It's got these lovely illustrated borders all around the text, and it's got French flaps. It's just a gorgeous book. It's published by Chicken House, and this one's about a young girl who has been forbidden to leave the island she lives on, but her best friend goes missing, so she needs to find her using an ancient map. Sounds really interesting. Like I said, it has amazing reviews. Brittany picked up a copy of this as well, so I'm sure we'll do a buddy read of it soon. But those are all the books I picked up. I had such a lovely time shopping with everybody. Please do check out their channels if you haven't done so before, and if you've read any of these books or want to read any of these books, then do leave a comment down below. But until next time, happy reading, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye!